Well, welcome back to another edition of the Drury University D1 Men's Program Hockey Coaches Show. I'm your public address announcer, Kevin Kline, and with us this week is assistant coach Cliff Cook. Jeremy is doing kid duty, I believe. Head coach Jeremy Law?
He is doing. He's on dad duty today, yes.
Okay.
He had to actually get off the ice just a few minutes early from practice, in fact.
Wow. Well,
Yes.
We all have our responsibilities on and off the ice, but now we get to talk about the responsibilities on the ice.
Yeah.
We were 2-0 on the weekend, and not just 2-0, but we were 2-0 against a quality opponent, our first quality opponent this year.
Yeah, it's, we've talked about it a lot. This was kind of the first key weekend we had circled on the calendar. Another preseason top 15 team. UMary was number 14, we're number 9, so it was going to be a big test for us, and we knew that going in. These are the games, as we've said, we've wanted now for 2 years, and we're finally getting these kind of games based on our results last year. So it was a good weekend, and others are taking notice. I know Jeremy got a few text messages yesterday and the day before from some pretty big-time coaches in our league saying, man, what are you guys doing down there? That was impressive. So.
Well, we're going to talk about what we're doing down here. Drury University on Friday evening beats number 14 UMary 4-1, and then they come back and beat them again on Saturday 4-2. That was a closer game. It tied up after 2 periods, 2-2.
Yeah, definitely a closer game. We did not one of those games where we didn't have our best second period by a long shot. But it was more just, reminding the guys to play together. We kind of faced our first adversity of the year and, didn't handle it the best. But then it was just a quick reminder at intermission that, we're in this as a team. We need to stick together as a team and, not get on each other's case. Because, frankly, as I told them, that none of you are playing well enough to tell someone else what to do. So, come together as a group. I told them in the room, I said, one of the beauties of this team, and we had it a little bit last year, but even more so this year already, and I said it's a bonus for guys like Jeremy and I because we don't always get this as coaches. Not that it's rare, but it can be hard to come by. It's such a tight-knit group of guys. You don't always get that. I mean, you were an athlete. You know how it is. There's going to be cliques here and there in a locker room. You're always going to get that. We just don't have that. We have a tight-knit group, and they just had to be reminded that, hey, we're all in this together, man. So come together in the third, play the way we're capable of, and we did that. Yeah,
it was very evident that you did that. Let's start with Friday evening's game. We get on the board early with a 3:59 mark in the first period. Ethan O'Rourke from KT Walters and Jackson Truchon. Beautiful goal.
Yep.
O'Rourke has one of the most beautiful shots in all of the league.
He's got great hands, and because of his build, which is tall and lanky, he looks kind of, he's not here, so I won't embarrass him, but maybe he'll listen. There's almost an elegance to it.
Yes.
Because of how tall and lanky he is, and there's an elegance to when he's doing some of the stuff he's doing. But it was just a beautiful play all around. Unfortunately, the end result of the play is going to have him out for a while. He's looking at potentially having some surgery. But
that's what I was going to ask. I didn't see him on the ice after that goal.
No. As soon as he scored, he got kind of bumped. As the play continued, pucks in the net, play kind of continued, he got bumped. I didn't really see it. I haven't looked at the video. He didn't say much, so if he's not going to say much, I don't think it was necessarily a dirty play, just kind of one of those continuation things. Went into the boards funny and ended up hurting himself, so he's going to potentially have surgery. I think we're going to find out more about that on Wednesday.
Well, that's a pretty big loss.
It's a big loss, yeah. We got, unfortunately, a couple big losses right now, so... But, it's part of the game. There are bigger things in the world than hockey, so...
Yes, there are, and we're not going to get into this, but we are doing this program absolutely gutted by the news with one of our players today, and so I've already shed tears over it, and I know Cookie and Lawsy are the same. But
when the time is right and with permission, we'll tell the story if we can. Right now, we'll just know that we have heavy hearts right now for a member of our family for sure.
Yeah. And then, O'Rourke wasn't the only injury that we sustained. Matty Johnston goes down, and I believe the late first period, early second period, and it was actually in the first period because this is going to lead me to a question. It was a 5-minute major for kneeing on their part, and Matty, he came back to play in the rest of the game.
Yeah, he was fine. He was able to play. It didn't affect him as much. It's one of those injuries that you don't really notice until you've slept on it. It was a knee. At first we thought it was a knee on knee. It was more of a knee on quad. And so his quad was affected more than anything, and it swelled up quite a bit, which ended up affecting his knee. He dressed for warm-ups on Sunday, tried to go, we didn't even have to tell him no, because we could watch him. He just looked over at Sarah and shook his head, so he knew.
Yeah.
It just wasn't the smartest decision for him. So Didn't have Matty on Sunday, which is a huge loss as well. He's a massive part of what we do. We talked about it all the time. He's not the flashy guy, but he's just steady at it. He's going to make all the right plays, and definitely could have used that in the second period on Sunday. But again, the guys came together in the third, and we pulled it out.
So we get a 5-minute power play. Now, if you're not familiar with hockey, and some of you might not be, and we appreciate you being here, you get a 5-minute major. That means that we can score as many goals as we can in that 5-minute period, and they're still going to be playing that man down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's about a minute, maybe less than a minute left in the period, and we take a roughing call from Lucas Sidonik, and I was just like, oh no, because we still had like 2 or 3 minutes left on the power play, and that pretty much negates it. So how aggravating was that penalty?
You never want to take a penalty when you're on the power play. That's just rule number one. I mean, frankly, you don't want to take one when you're already on the kill as well, because you just really hamstrung yourself.
Was it a penalty?
Honestly, I didn't see the play.
I thought it was pretty innocuous, actually.
Yeah, I didn't see the play. I was looking somewhere else, and I looked up, and his arm was up. So I honestly couldn't answer that. And again, having us just arrived back from 15-hour drive yesterday morning, I'm still kind of in recovery mode. It's our first big trip, so I haven't watched film yet.
Yeah.
Probably will start doing a little bit of that tonight, definitely tomorrow. But yeah, I'm kind of behind on my normal schedule for watching film.
So in the second period, Luke Aston gets on the board with a goal assisted by Anmo Garcha and Lucas Ravenstein. Also in the second period, Daniel Beaupre. That, I believe, was a power play goal.
Finally.
Well, we're going to talk about that, sir.
Finally.
And that was assisted by Russell Kozak and Joe Davidson. And then in the third period, Ravenstein, a second point for the game. He scores with Jared Gale and Jackson Truchon getting the assists. Let's talk about the power play. We're 3 for 21. NHL average best is like 20 to 28%. We're well below that.
Yeah.
Why?
Again, I feel it's been a recurring topic. Of course, we don't know. I told Jeremy. Jeremy and I talked about it on the bus ride back too, and he's like, "Well, maybe I need to, show him some more clips of things that other teams are doing in NHL." And I finally said, maybe we need to go the other direction, and just say, enough is enough. Just start throwing pucks on net. Stop trying to overanalyze what we're doing and set plays and all that. Just say, get pucks to the net, get bodies to the net, and let's see if we can make something happen that way. Because I think we're kind of trying to do maybe too much at this point, because we're such a talented team, man.
Well,
these
that's
guys
why I'm asking why.
These guys are unbelievable, and we asked the question why all last year too. We would like with this talent to be at 30%. That's
elite.
That's going at a pretty high clip there when you're at 30%. Right now we're at 13.
Yeah.
So it's just, to be blunt, it's kind of unacceptable, but it's not. It's on all of us. It's on us as coaches. It's on the players. We all need to figure it out together. Like I said, I think in a lot of ways we just need to, instead of trying to overcomplicate things and bringing in set plays and doing this and that, is just dummy everything down, simplify the game, and just get pucks on net and get bodies to the net and create havoc.
Well, you talk about getting pucks on net. I think it was Ravenstein's goal where it was just a kind of a throw it towards the net, and the goaltender just misplayed it.
He was laughing coming to the bench, and we all just started joking. It was a Mighty Ducks knuckle puck.
Yes.
Because it was kind of rolling when he shot it, and we've worked on that a lot. We talked last week about all the shot blocks we had against us. Louisville,
especially with Louisville.
That's what I'm talking about. Louisville was blocking everything, so we had to watch some film about how to get shots off quicker. And part of that was not catching and holding on to it. It was as soon as the puck's there, you're shooting it. You're not stopping it. You're essentially one-timing it, although it's kind of a different scenario. And that's what he did. Puck came off the wall, and instead of trying to dust it off, he just threw it on net. Didn't care that it was rolling. If anything, that makes it better because it gets unpredictable. You do have that knuckleball effect, like in baseball, and it worked out. And that's the kind of thing I think we're going to have to kind of institute more, especially when it comes to the power play. Just getting pucks there.
Well, and I think their goal on Friday or Saturday evening was a deflection in front of the net. So again, you throw a puck on the net, you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and that's one we need to do a bit better job of in front of getting control of their guy's stick so he can't make that deflection. But again, at the end of the day, tip your hat. It was a nice deflection. But as the guy running the back end there, I'd like to see us do a better job of controlling that guy in front so we can't get that tip.
Well, we are going to talk about defense. We're going to do it right now. Conversely, on the penalty kill, we are killing it.
Yeah.
Absolutely killing it. We're at 85.7%. They say 80% in the NHL is top level. We're blowing that out of the water.
Well, last year we were somewhere around 90-something%.
Yeah.
So I'm not satisfied. I want to be where we were last year.
Cliff, we could be 99 and you wouldn't be satisfied.
I'd be okay with 99.
I'm sure okay, but not satisfied.
We finished number 2 in the country last year in penalty kill, just like a fraction of a point behind Adrian. That annoyed me, mainly because it was them. But no, I said last week I fully expected, first things first, our kill to come around, because it started off a little slow as well. But now we're starting to pick that up, and the cohesion's getting there with the groups we have, and finding the right balance of what forwards with what D and this and that, and that's worked out well. So now it's just getting the power play on board, because 5-on-5 we're doing just fine, and it's been fun to watch. And one of the things I've been excited about, kind of mentioned a little bit last week, but I finally did the numbers, and we've got 6 of our goals so far this year from defensemen. So it's basically a goal per game by defensemen, and that's huge at any level. If you're getting a goal per game from defensemen, that you're going to win a lot of games like that.
Yeah, well, our winning a lot of games. We're 6-0 right now. Our goal to differential is 29 goals for us, 9 goals for the opponent. So already we're well on our way to matching or bettering that 104 or whatever we had last year,
yeah.
which was just gaudy and obnoxious. You talked about you being in charge of the defensive core for the Drury University Panthers. It's a new segment that I want to introduce this week, and it's called Viewer Mail.
Oh no.
Okay, and this question comes to us from a guy named Kevin in Vernon, British Columbia, Canada. Ask Coach Cliff who he models his defensive structures after, past and present NHL players.
I really don't, because here's the funny part. This is what I don't think people know about Jeremy and I. Jeremy was a defenseman. I was a forward.
Really?
Yeah. And so, he runs the forwards, I run the D. But I was a forward, he was a defenseman.
Wow.
So I don't know that there's necessarily anything to that. It just kind of worked out that way. It's not like as a forward I have some insights. I mean, I guess there is a little bit of that, but I mean, it's been 100 years since I played, so I think those insights disappeared. Now it's just more learning as I go here, even after all these years. Because if you're not learning, you might as well hang them up.
The game goes by you.
Yeah. So Jeremy's the same way. He brings insights all over the map, and I'll occasionally jump down to the forwards and throw my 2 cents in, but pretty much, he lets me do my thing. I let him do his thing. And if we have a little comment to make, we'll either just kind of say it to the guys, or I'll say, hey, can you tell your forwards this? And he'll do the same with me about the D. So, yeah, it's there's no real science to it. There's no magic. It's how it's worked out for us for all these years we've been coaching together.
But are there pro players, past or present, that you actually think, hey, you know what? I think our guys play it this way. So
no, not necessarily. No,
okay.
Because I always have a hard time anytime someone tries to compare players to either current or past players, because everybody's their own man, or woman if you're playing women's hockey. They're all their own person, and are there similarities here and there? Sure, but I think it's, in some ways, I don't think it puts pressure on anybody, but I do think it can be unfair to both sides of that argument, to try and do that in any sport, frankly. I just think it's not a fair comparison.
Comparing eras to eras, you can't do it.
No.
You can't do it.
No, not at all. And like I said, there are similarities for sure, but at the same time, I think our guys are going to be their own men, and they're going to do their thing, and I'm pleased with what they're doing.
Well, Kev, thank you for that question. If you would like your question asked to one of the coaches in the coaching show, you can either just go through our direct message, or you can just email me, Kev Kline, KEVKLINE07@yahoo.com. Cliff's got it up on the bottom of the screen right now. What you get for us using your question is you get to hear your name, and then, you also get bragging rights. Hey, I was on the coaching show.
Is that wouldn't have happened to be our captain's father, would it?
Might have been our captain.
Oh. Oh. All right.
Yeah, it could very well have been.
I keep looking to see if he's walked in yet, because some of the boys are here already, but
all right, so
see him.
To my novice hockey eye, all right, and this is where I usually show my bozo-ness, in the first game on Saturday, it looked like we dominated time of possession, which their coach even said. He goes, their extended possessions, he goes, that's killing us. I got to listen to him in the period intermission. Face-offs won. I don't remember them winning a face-off.
It's funny. It's funny you say that, because early on in the game, we were actually getting a little frustrated. We weren't winning enough.
Really?
And that's should be a strength of ours for sure with the centers we have. But we were talking about it early on in the game, but it did start to kind of flow in our direction after a while.
I thought we dominated in second and third period face-off wins. And then the third thing, takeaways versus turnovers. I thought we created so many takeaways and very few turnovers in that game.
Yeah, it was just the system we kind of put together to play against those guys didn't allow for us to have opportunities to turn it over much, just because we weren't trying to make plays that would create opportunities for that. If we were going to lose the puck, it was going to be in other ways besides just them taking it from us. So, yeah, it worked out well for us, and we did a good job defensively, except that second period on Sunday. But we did a good job overall in the neutral zone and in our zone of kind of keeping things to the outside and then pressuring them to create the turnovers to go the other way with it, and it worked out well for us.
You haven't had an opportunity to watch the games yet?
No, not yet.
Because they were away games. We got to watch them on the UMary broadcast network.
Yep.
And in between the first and second period on Saturday night's game, they had a conversation with the head coach. And the question that was basically posed was, why do they look like they're in our offensive zone so much?
Because we were.
And that's what the coach said. He
Yeah.
said because they're relentless.
Yeah.
Because they are not afraid to put bodies in the crease,
Yeah.
and right now they're a better team than us.
Yeah.
So their announcer during the third period said, well, you got to kind of take into consideration that this is their fifth game of the season. This is only our second. How much validity is there in that?
There is some. I mean,
but how much?
I think it's more than you would imagine, because they played one game and it was against a Division II team that's not very good.
Right. Yeah, they won 9-1.
So the problem with games like that from their standpoint is getting into really bad habits quickly. Mm-hmm. We had some concerns about that in our first 2 weekends as well against slightly lower opponents, but our guys handled it well, and practice leading up to that went well. So we were ready to go. There is validity to that, because until you're playing at that full speed game competition, it's a completely different animal. You can practice all you want. Like I say, in any sport, everything changes when you get under the lights. Mm-hmm. The tempo's up, the intensity's up. We expected, I guess I was in some ways a little surprised that their better game wasn't Saturday and it was more on Sunday, and some of that was self-inflicted on us. Again, that second period, we just did not play well, flat out.
Okay.
And they took advantage of it. We expected them to have all the juice in the world on Saturday.
Well, especially with the crowd and everything.
A huge crowd. Their student section was great. I mean, Drury students, if you're watching this, go look at that video. We need that atmosphere in our games. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. So I expected them to feed off of that, and maybe they did, and we just stuck it to them, because that's a very well-coached team. There's no question. So it was a good night for us. And then Sunday, one of the problems on a game like Sunday when that crowd is gone is you don't have the energy to build off of, and that's for both teams. And it took us a bit in the first period on Sunday to kind of get our legs under us, because we didn't have that juice to get us flowing like we did on Friday or Saturday night.
Which is surprising, because we have not addressed the elephant in the room quite yet, and that is that we had just a rabid Drury fan there in Garrett Robinson.
Yeah.
And I mean, literally, that's all you heard on the broadcast.
The only goal I have seen the video of, it's because the Ridge Meadow Flames posted it on their Instagram, was Ravenstein's goal. Bird, as we call him.
Yep.
Bird's goal, the Flames posted it on their Instagram, so I've now watched it. You would have thought it was a home game for us.
Oh, yeah.
And not just because of what Garrett was doing, but even right as the puck went in, you hear this huge cheer.
Oh, it's True John. And that flies into the net. I believe it went off the glove, and it's 4-1. Drury. Goal scored by Lucas Ravenstein.
A lot of our families from Canada came down.
We had a lot of people there, and there was this big cheer.
Had some people from Springfield, Kim.
Kim was there. And then next thing you hear is that horn going, and he was definitely in the heads of the fans on Saturday night.
Garrett is the father of our athletic trainer, Sarah Robinson, and he actually lives up there and is a big fan of Minot.
Yeah.
And so it was like a home game for him with Drury, and he was very grateful that we had that opportunity for him.
He told me he has a lot of history in that rink. The UMary fans don't like him very much as a Minot State guy, so he brought that energy with him for us.
If the opposing team does like you, you're doing something wrong. And then finally, I got to give you credit. Because sometimes you say something and it's like, he's just home cooking. You said earlier this year, before the season even started, we have the number one goaltender in the country.
Yeah.
Look at the stat sheet right now.
I know.
Who's number one in the country?
I said this.
Literally, Joe Kuchaslo
Yeah.
is the number one goaltender in the country with a .946 save percentage.
I was on a podcast last night called the ACHA Power Play with the great Captain Lou Gamlin. He's based out of Michigan. Lou's a great guy. We go to nationals this year. I'll introduce you. But I did his last night, and I brought that up. I said, look, I would hope every coach in the country would feel the same about their goaltending, to a point. And yes, I am biased, but I say it even without bias. I think Joe is the number one goaltender in the country. And until someone else proves me wrong, I'm going to live by that. And that's not to put any pressure on him. He puts enough on himself. He is that good, and he's that steady. He's our rock back there. And, if for whatever reason he's not in there, I feel just as good about putting Brett Sweet in the net. So we have such a great setup right now on the back end that it's one of those things we don't have to think too much about.
Yeah.
We can take care of other things and just know that we've got the net covered for sure.
And the other thing that we have going for us, and we're going to talk to this player in the next segment coming up here shortly, but Luke Aston is on the leaderboard on the front page of the nation's points
I would
leaders.
say, and I might get in trouble for saying this, but I don't really care. He'd be very much higher if they didn't include Division I games against Division III teams that are on your own campus. The Northern Illinois stuff.
Yes.
All those stats are from when they played their own Division III team.
Yeah, dude's got 14 points. He's the leader in the country. He's got 7 goals and 7 assists in 2 games.
They beat their own Division III team by double digits, and those stats get inputted. So
yay for them.
Luke would be at or near the top of the leaderboard right now if they hadn't put that up there.
Well, we're going to get his thoughts on that. We're also going to get the thoughts and perspective from Jamison St. Clair, who has had a hell of a season already. He's just a dynamite player. We're going to talk to both of those players in segment number 2, which is coming up. We are doing the Coaches Show for Drury University D1 men's hockey, the 6-0 Panthers, and we'll get back to segment number 2 at Holdfast Brewing next. Back for segment 2 of the Drury University Panthers D1 men's hockey program coaches show. We're at Holdfast Brewing. We host this every Tuesday after games that the Panthers play. It's not every home game like it has been. It's every game of the season. And so we are talking about this past weekend where they took 2 from the 14th ranked University of UMary Marauders up in Bismarck, North Dakota. And 2 of the players that were responsible for those 2 wins sitting with us right now, number 18, Luke Aston, number 7, Jamison St. Clair. Guys, congratulations on a 6-0 start.
Thank you.
How's it feel?
It's definitely a good start, a good building point. I think we just keep moving forward and kind of getting better every week.
You're both returners from last year. How does this team feel compared to last year's team?
It's hard to compare the two, but we'll be contenders once again. So that's always nice to see.
I like the confidence. We'll be contenders again. Yeah. Maybe even higher ranked, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we finished the season last year, number 8 in the country. We opened this year at number 9 in the country, the preseason coaches poll. If you had to say what's different between this year's team and last year's team?
Obviously, we brought in a lot of really good players with our recruiting class, and you don't ever want to kind of dog on a team from the year before. I do think our depth is a little bit better this year, so I'd say that's kind of the biggest thing for us.
Same thing with Jamison?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think it takes a lot of pressure off, but also puts a lot of pressure on in a different sense. You don't have to worry about saving energy or something ridiculous like that. It's never in the back of your mind. You're more so worrying about keeping your spots, keeping it competitive, and it gives you a little bit of extra motivation in practice and in the game.
Well, it's really funny that you bring up saving energy because after I think the third or fourth practice that I saw you guys at, I was walking into Brightspeed Ice Park with you, Jamison, and I said, man, dude, you are just flying out there and you look so fit. You didn't say anything but, that's my job. Everybody noticed that you came in completely fit this year and so fast. What was your summer workout regimen?
I just skated at 11, worked out after, then went to work.
Really, nothing special.
No, it's just, I don't know. You do it every day and it adds up, I guess.
Yeah, well, it does. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that gain you made yesterday, you keep doing it, and it compounds and compounds and compounds. Luke, you and I have had conversations after some of the home games where I was talking about how smooth you look on the ice and how just deft your hands are with the puck. Where's that come from?
I wouldn't say the hands part, but maybe the skating. But I'd say just like growing up, like with different skills coaches and working on your skating at a really young age is kind of like the biggest thing for me, because it builds kind of a really good foundation as you kind of get older and get stronger and start growing, that you still have like the really good technique and the edge work, that kind of stuff.
Do you wish you had that shorthanded opportunity from Saturday back?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
There's probably a lot I wish I had back from the weekend, but.
Well, not only this weekend, but a couple of weekends ago, I think Louisville stonewalled you a couple of different times. I said you and Garcha, who are line mates, could have each had 10 points in one of those games.
Yeah, we were definitely a little snake bitten here to start the year, but I think if we just keep chipping away at it, eventually it'll kind of break through in a big wave. So we just kind of keep going.
Well, it's like you said, right there, and sure enough, keep chipping away. You're actually on the front page of the leaders for points in the nation.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
No.
Cookie and I were just talking about it in the past segment. If it wasn't for Northern Illinois getting all their stats against their D3 team, you'd probably be in the top 20.
Yeah. I mean...
Is that a big deal to you?
Obviously, it's like good to think about and good to have in the back of your mind, but I don't think that's like the biggest concern of mine, really. I know... great start to the year so far for the team especially, but I know there's kind of like another level that I need to get to, like in my play. So I'm not really too concerned about the points. I know that those will come when I start playing.
Jameson, how do you measure success in your own game?
I don't know, probably just what J-Law tells me. If he tells me I'm playing good, that's great. If he doesn't, I'll buckle down and figure it out.
How do you feel when you play good? Is it like effortless, or is it like you're grinding more, or?
It's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I always make sure I feel like I'm grinding. Like for me personally, it's part of my game, playing fast, playing hard, playing physical, and so I always make it an effort to, get in there, whether I feel like I'm playing good or not. I always do that the same. Whether I'm playing good or not, most of the time just comes down to whether I, take advantage of my opportunities or not.
You last year were a defenseman. Now you're on the forward line this year. Which one's more natural for you?
I don't know either. I've always played both, so.
Yeah? Are you more comfortable on one or the other?
Not really. I mean, to be honest, I play the same way pretty much at both positions, so it doesn't really change a whole lot.
Luke, would you rather have a goal or an assist?
Definitely a goal.
Okay.
Yeah. Everyone who says that they would rather have an assist rather than a goal is probably lying. So.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you said that, because I have a question, and it might be a completely erroneous question, but from these eyes, it looks like you pass more than you shoot.
Yeah. I think definitely at times, which is probably not a good thing, but I guess, yeah. I guess that's just a play style of mine. I would say I probably need to work on that and shoot more different opportunities that I have. It might lead to more goals, but.
Lawsy, Cookie, and those watching, I'm not telling him to shoot more. I'm just asking the question. So if he does start shooting more and stops passing as much as he does, it ain't my fault, okay? No, I think that you've got so much skill around you that you realize that, and you guys are playing some great hockey right now. So when you beat number 14, and then you got to play the next weekend against an unranked team who's struggling to beat Tier 2 teams, how do you get up for that?
the exact same way as you play on the 4th or 14th ranked team. Nothing changes. You play the same way either way. You may have different systems and you may run different things, but you come into it the same way with the same intensity. Nothing changes.
So if you win 4-1 or 4-2 against a team that you should beat handily, is that a wasted weekend?
It depends. Sometimes you win 4-2 and you know you played bad and the coaches know you played bad and there's not much you can do about it except move on, learn from your mistakes and figure it out. Or sometimes you just run into a hot goalie, you know? I mean, it's college hockey. It happens. We're all athletes. You know, everyone has a hot day. It is expected to do a little bit better in those games, but at the end of the day, it's a game and anything can happen.
So one thing I found out about you last year, Jamison, is that you are a massive stats guy. You keep track of stats that aren't even on the real ledger page. So what's the most obscure stat that you care about?
Oh boy. I don't know.
What are some that you track?
Takeaways and giveaways are a big one for me.
Okay.
I know for my personal role, it's very important if I'm taking the puck away more than giving it away, especially being a penalty kill guy. I know that's when you asked earlier how I know if I have a good or a bad game, that's usually it, if I'm giving the puck away a lot. So that's probably the biggest stat for me. Probably the second one is how many times I actually hit the net, not including shot blocks. Getting pucks through is super, super important. And so when I miss the net or get it blocked, it's very frustrating to me. So I keep track of that as well.
Luke, outside of points per game, outside of goals, assists, and wins, what else do you care about? Your game?
Yeah, obviously making sure I'm playing well defensively and making it easy on the D-man and, especially Joe or Sweeter whenever they're playing. I think, like Jamison said as well, turnovers is a big thing. Mm-hmm. And making sure that you're turning the puck over as least as you possibly can, especially for guys who, I think for me, at least me and Sinclair, we like to have the puck on our stick to have the least amount of turnovers as possible. That's usually a good sign that you're playing well. That's probably a big thing for me, and then just a defensive game.
So their coach, during the first and second intermission of Saturday's game, the first game of the weekend, he was asked what the biggest difference between our team and their team was, and his quote was, "They're relentless in their forecheck, and they're not afraid to put bodies in the crease." How tiring of a game do you guys play?
Well, when you do stuff like that, it doesn't feel tiring. That is actually probably the biggest thing we've emphasized this year is getting on the puck and getting it to our D and getting in front of the net. Because we know now that our D-men are shooting it right away. They're looking to score. They're looking for shots. So we need to give them the best opportunity we can for them to get the puck on net. And that comes with getting in on the forecheck and then getting our butts to the front of the net. And once you do that, just having the puck in the offensive zone just becomes continuous. And when you have the puck in the offensive zone, you don't feel your lungs.
Really?
I'd say it's a bit more harder on the body in the way, like if you're getting in front of the net, you're getting more cross checks to the arms and slashes on the legs or whatever it is. So I think that's probably the part that's a little bit harder on your body.
I'm so glad I asked that question because those are two answers that I never would have expected. It's easier on the lungs, but you get hit more. Unbelievable. Guys, congratulations on the 6-0 start. Congratulations on your guys' start personally, and I look forward to not only this weekend but the rest of the season.
Yeah, of course. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Number 18, Luke Aston, who was on the team last year but not the previous year. I know. I should do better homework. And then Jamison St. Clair, same thing. Number 7, here last year, here this year, not the year before. Coming back with segment number 3, we're going to unveil some brand new jerseys that are going to be available this weekend for auction. And we're also going to talk about this coming up weekend because not only is Davenport in town, Davenport, DU, Panthers, we are, red and white, we are, they are. That's where the similarities end, though. It's going to be a special weekend. We're going to come back on segment number 3 and talk all about it. Coach's Show at Hold Fast Brewing. We're back at Hold Fast Brewing for the third and final segment of this coach's show. I'm Kevin Kline, your public address announcer for Drury University men's hockey, D1 and D3.
You're looking sharp there, Kevin.
Dude, aren't you too?
I mean,
Assistant coach
always.
Cliff Cook is with me. Of course, yeah, I know that. I mean, you're wearing your DU hockey hat always. And
It's a given.
but these jerseys are very special, and they're going to be talked about here shortly because it's for this weekend. Davenport University comes to town. Before we get into that, I want to ask you, we beat number 14, UMary, in their place, 2 games. How will that affect our ranking?
Oh, we won't know for a while. The next coach's ranking isn't until, it's probably another couple weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, so we won't know until there's more of a sample size. But, depending on what happens above us, I think there's a chance we can move up a bit. But, until the computer rankings start, that's what really matters.
We're playing a team in Davenport that's not nationally ranked. They are 1 win, 1 shootout loss on the season, so they're young in their season. They have a first-year head coach who was assistant coach there for 5 years. We handled them 4 games out of 4 last year. How do we get up for this?
Well, was it 4 or we played them twice? I think we
Played them
up
twice.
there. Yeah,
I'm mixing them up with somebody else.
Yeah, no, you're good. We played them up
McKendry,
there.
I'm mixing them up with.
Yeah, and it was emotional games up there with them. And
Well, yeah, I know.
But we talked about this a couple weeks ago. You asked if there'd be any kind of holdover, carryover from that. There won't. For one, that player is not there anymore.
Okay.
We have high expectations and high standards, and at this point, not to sound glib, but they're just the next opponent in our way of getting to that, reaching those goals. So, they're going to be a tough time. One thing about Davenport, they've got some talent, but the one thing they do is they work hard. They play hard. They work hard. They're a physical team. They won't stop. They didn't when they were up there last year. So, yeah, we're ready for another challenge. They finished, I think, in the low 30s last year, if I remember right.
Yeah.
So they're nothing to sneeze at, that's for sure. So we're going to be ready. Guys are fired up. We're a little banged up at the moment, but that's to be expected. Hockey's a tough sport. Guys are a little beat up. There's only I think we'll probably have Maddie back for this weekend. We definitely won't have Ethan back for a while. But yeah, it's Hey, Panther fans, it's Coach Cook here. Well, as you can see, I'm not at Hold Fast Brewing, although I'm doing my best to represent our friends there as best I can. You might have noticed at the end there, right before it cut off, we had a bit of a technical issue. Our camera decided to go rogue and just shut itself off, and we didn't notice until it was too late. So here I am in my podcast setup. Some of you may know I have a podcast now, but that's not what this is about. So I just wanted to kind of fill that little void in from the last segment because it's very important, because it has to do with not only this weekend's games against Davenport University, which are huge for our guys, but more importantly, we think from a broader standpoint, is it's Snowdrop Foundation weekend. And Snowdrop Foundation was created by the voice of Panther hockey and the host of the Coach's Show, who you see all the time, Kevin Kline, along with his amazing wife, Trish. And they created this foundation many years ago, and we decided to help them out as best we can. The only way we know how is hockey people, and that was to create a jersey. Now, while our players won't be wearing that jersey on the ice this weekend, there are jerseys available for auction. There's 2, in fact. One online. I'll post that information down below, how you can bid on that jersey. And then if you're in Springfield this weekend, come out to the games. There'll be a silent auction. There'll be some other items up for auction as well. All the proceeds go to the Snowdrop Foundation. It's just a wonderful organization that has raised millions and millions of dollars for pediatric cancer research and scholarships for pediatric cancer patients to attend college. So it's just amazing what these beautiful people do, Kevin and Trish and all their staff down in Houston, which is where it's primarily based out of. But we are very grateful. You've probably heard Jeremy and I talk just about every show about how privileged we are to have Kevin and Trish involved in our program. Those of you that come to the games or watch online get to hear Kevin's voice a lot. the rock of the whole thing that you don't get to see very often is Trish in the background, and she's the one that really does all the work for all of us. Let's put it honestly here. So I'm going to include at the end of this video the trailer for an amazing documentary you've also heard us talk about called Delivering Hope. And it's just, we, as you may recall, if you were here last year, we were privileged enough as an organization to have Kevin and Trish organize a screening for our players right before the national tournament for us to watch this documentary. And the short story is it's Kevin wanting to do something to bring more awareness to the foundation, to the cause, to everything. So he decided to go a little nutty, and he's a runner. He's a marathon runner, and that kind of goes back to his time when he first met the amazing Chelsea, who's the inspiration behind the foundation to begin with. Real quick on that, if you notice in the video, and I'll have pictures posted as well of the jersey itself. Every jersey that was made has the number 16 on it. Chelsea was 16 years old when she sadly passed away because of cancer. But as Kevin tells all the time, she never once said she was sick. She just happened to have cancer. She had a heart of gold and energy to we could all only hope for. And left the C on the jersey. I actually designed the jerseys. The only reason I bring that up is because I had a funny moment where the original idea was we were all going to wear them as a team. And that idea kind of went away. But in the renderings for our jersey supplier, I included the captain's letters just so they could see what everything looked like. And once we decided we were going to go a different direction with this, I was going to take it off. And then, I don't know why it didn't occur to me before that leaving the C on for Chelsea was perfect, especially with that number 16 on every jersey. So we're incredibly honored to be not only partnered with Snowdrop Foundation, but to have two of the most amazing people I've ever met, to call them friends. I know Jeremy feels the same. So, but Delivering Hope, yeah, Kevin, as I said, went a little nutty, but for all the right reasons, and decided to run the Dalton Highway in Alaska in the dead of winter. And if you don't know what the Dalton Highway is, go find Ice Road Truckers. That'll give you an idea. It's the most dangerous highway in North America and one of the most dangerous in the world. And he decided to run it in the dead of winter. And it's a spectacular documentary. I am not ashamed to admit, I've admitted publicly many times, 2 minutes into the film, I was already in tears. And, if you get a chance to watch it, you'll feel the same. It is available now, finally. September 1st, it finally came out to the public. It's available in streaming services such as YouTube TV, Google, the Google Store, you can find it, Apple TV, and then there's one other one. We'll include that information below. But please go and find it. If you're in town, there's going to be a screening on campus as well in November. I will include that information down below. But again, go find the link to bid on the online jersey. And if you're in Springfield, for one, come out and see our boys play. It's a lot of fun. The atmosphere is great. We're continuing to build our crowd, and we need your support as well. The other thing that's happening right now, and as I'm recording this on a Wednesday night, as I'm trying to finish up this and kind of recover from the unfortunate technical difficulty we had, Thursday, tomorrow, as I'm recording this, Thursday night at 10 p.m., Champions Challenge, which you've probably seen us post about on a regular basis over the last couple weeks or months even. Champions Challenge ends Thursday night, tomorrow night, or as you're watching this, tonight at 10 p.m. We have not yet hit our goal of $5,000 raised. We're a couple $1,000s away. So we need your help. Donate what you can. That information will also be provided in the description below. So head on over and help us out any way you can until 10 p.m. tonight. And then as we move along in the future, we'll have some other fundraising opportunities for you guys to help us with. But this is the big one. This is the big one for the entire Drury University Athletics Department every year. And so we're excited to be involved with it, but we need your help to hit that goal. It's a huge thing for us every year. Helps provide our guys with the best opportunities they can have as far as travel, as far as equipment, everything you can think of when it comes to hockey. And everyone watching this who's a hockey fan, most of you are parents of these players and whatnot. You know how expensive a sport this is. So every little bit helps for sure. So we appreciate your support. We're excited about the season, 6-0 right now, heading into a final weekend before we finally get a bit of a break. We'll have a weekend off next week, and then we get back at it again. And then we'll have some more exciting announcements coming up with regards to what's going on in October. But thank you all for your support. I will include, like I said, the trailer for Delivering Hope after the credits roll at the end of this episode. So make sure and stick around till the end for that. Thank you, everybody, and go Panthers.
It's going to be hard because of the terrain. The first 3 days are hilly. They're rolling hills. The fourth day, we actually have to climb a 4,500-foot mountain.
I think he's definitely crazy. He told me about the threats from moose and fox and bears.
Oh, the whole purpose of Delivering Hope was to take names of pediatric cancer patients to the virtual top of the world, which is how they feel when they ring the end of their treatment bell.
Anybody running that amount of distance over that amount of time, 40 miles a day over 7 or 8 days, that's a lot on your body. And then you throw in the mix, the environment that he's going to be in, the weather.
It's 24.5 at 2 degrees. That's about a negative 25 wind chill roughly, and it hurts like hell, I'll tell you, standing right here.